Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to talk about protecting our children at school. I want to talk about securing schools, having them not be soft targets. We have created an entire system now of soft targets with these no-gun zones, etc. It's a place where bad guys say, wow, that's a wonderland. Lots of people, lots of kids, and nobody to resist me. And there's been an effort to try to change that in this country, but for some reason, the left is opposed to it. I don't know why. They pretend that security doesn't work. They're like, oh, that'll never work. It won't stop anyone because, these places had security and someone still got in. These places weren't very secure. He got in an unlocked door in the most recent shooting. In a secure building, doors don't stay unlocked. If someone goes out a door, that's an exit only. There should only be one door you come in, and every other door should be exit only except for certain periods while someone is standing there monitoring the door for kids to come in the morning or something. And it can easily be closed and lock the person out if someone starts doing something outside. If security is done properly, it works very well. I don't understand this argument that security doesn't work. And that, armed security especially doesn't work. Well, tell that to celebrities and politicians, etc. Seems to work pretty well for them. And secure locations seem to work pretty well for them. So if you go to like a movie set, there's fences around the studio, there's guards at the doors. I don't see a lot of people running into studios and shooting up famous people. Same thing with politicians. Most of the places they spend their days are very secure. Bullets don't go through brick walls. Bullets also don't go through reinforced steel doors. It wouldn't take much money at all for most schools that even exist right now, much less new ones being built, to make it to where there's no windows you can come in from the outside easily. There's no first floor easy access. Bricks up to 7 feet. And then you can have high windows if you want. In fact, one of the schools around here has that. Outside, it's brick to 7 feet high. And then there's high windows on the outer rooms. A lot of the rooms don't even have windows. They're just well lit. Windows aren't necessary for learning. In fact, they're often a distraction. They don't need to see outside all the time. So just having it to where there's no windows you can come in and there's only one door to enter and it's secure. How do people say that wouldn't work? That would work wonders. Like I said, most of these people that end up doing this thing, they're not the Hulk. They're not going to be breaking down steel doors. All you have to have is an actual system that is functional and have teachers that know, like, hey, you don't prop open the door or unlock the security door because you want to go to your car. If you had a system where there's one way in, there's multiple ways out, but you can't come back in those ways. And if someone decided, hey, I'm going to go out to my car and get a cigarette, a teacher, or someone, students sometimes, some places, I'm just going to prop the door open for a few minutes or stick something in it so it doesn't close all the way so that I can go to my car and come back and go back in this way so I don't have to go around and come through the office. And then even have the principal saying, why are you outside? When they did that, an alarm went off because the door wasn't latched. And a security person showed up and says, why is this door blocked open? And they said, oh, I was just going to my car. And they go, okay. And they write that down, give it to the principal. Next day, you're fired. That would work well. Security works. It's very hard to overcome physical barriers. It's hard to go through brick walls or steel doors. So security works. I don't understand how anyone could be making the argument against it, especially when you see politicians and celebrities arguing against it, even though if you even suggested that they shouldn't have security, they'd freak out because they know it works. So I don't understand that. But the main thing I don't understand right now is why the people on the left are so adamantly against armed people in the schools. They are fine with it when it's a police officer armed in a school. They don't have any problem with that. It's like there's this mythos that police officers are trustworthy and capable, etc. They're no more capable than most people. In fact, they're less capable than most people. I would trust someone who is a principal at a school, who has gone to college, who has spent their years as an educator, who is a responsible adult person who has climbed the ladder. I would much more trust them with a shotgun than I would some cop who graduated high school and then decided he wanted to be a policeman because he was bullied all the time. In fact, the cops have far more in common with the shooters than they do the good guys sometimes. So I don't like that idea at all. Plus, when you have cops in schools, they treat kids like criminals. They have one speed, and that's bully. And we're trying to get bullying out of the schools. So I don't want cops in schools. But somehow the left pretends that's what they want. I guess they want kids to get a criminal record because they acted out in science class or social studies. I don't want that. I don't want cops in schools. I would much more trust the principal, the vice principal, etc. Far more would I trust them. So arming the principals, even teachers, etc., is something that I think is a great idea. And I do trust them to carry a gun. I'm not going to sit here and tell people that are grown adults who willingly choose to carry a firearm concealed while they're working to be an extra line of defense if someone somehow does get through the brick walls and the steel doors, which is very unlikely, but if through human error they do, then there's a second line of defense. And the left just hates this. In fact, a teachers union in Texas just put forward a study where they sent out questionnaires to all their members and said, hey, would you be willing to carry guns during work? Do you want to carry a gun while you're teaching? And they got the results back, and they got on the news, and they got in the newspaper and started crowing about 75% of teachers say they don't want to be armed, so stop with the arming teachers nonsense. It's so ridiculous. I'm like, that's how you read that? Out of all your teachers, 75% said no, they don't want to carry a gun. I look at it as saying 25% said yes, they do want to carry a gun. And even in a small school where there's only like 20 employees, 5 of them being armed, that would be great. And I'm not even saying just arm the teachers. Teachers are usually busy during the day. I'm okay if a teacher wants to be armed, but there are other people that would be actually better for it. Support staff. Hell, the school my son goes to, there's like 6 assistant vice principals. 2 of them, they don't even teach classes. They just spend their day patrolling the building, making sure kids are going to class, making sure people are in the right place, making sure doors are locked, etc. That's a good thing. And it would be even better if they could be armed in case someone did get through one of those doors. They're adult, successful, educated people. And they can decide for themselves if they think they're responsible to carry concealed every day. I don't see why they couldn't. And in fact, 25% of them obviously want to. So let them. Let's start putting our money where our mouth is. Let's start spending some money to, maybe if you have a school that has windows all the way to the ground outside, brick them up to 7 feet. My son's school that he went to grade school was like that. The only windows they had were up high on the outside rooms, and on the inside rooms there were no windows. You don't need windows for kids to learn. In fact, they can usually be a big distraction. As long as it's well lit in there and the collars are good, they'll be fine. And they'll be safe. So brick up those windows. Lock down all those doors. We don't need big glass partitions around the front door of a school. One of my kids' high school has like a big glass lobby as you walk in. I'm like, what is the point of this? It's not even particularly attractive because you see in, all you see is like school. So it doesn't add anything, and plus it's tucked down in a little cove where you don't even see it till you get in to walk in the doors. So that isn't needed. Should be one point of egress. You have to go through the office. You have to be buzzed in, etc. Or one point of ingress, I should say. And then egress, there could be all kinds of them. Just long as like when you open them, if they aren't shut within a second, alarm goes off. And when the alarm goes off, people know what to do in the school. They're like, there's a problem. And somebody's getting fired. Unless it's a student who they're going to get in a lot of trouble. Expelled maybe. Or at least suspended. So have a system, enforce that system, spend the money to have it, to build it the way it should be built, and then allow the teachers who want to be armed. Because security does work, and there are teachers that want to be armed. And like I said, these people that are support staff that walk the hallways all day with their walkie-talkies and who guide the kids to the cafeteria and to the common area, etc., when they're between classes. I mean, my kid's school, like I said, I've been there when they're changing classes, and there's multiple of the assistant vice principals walking the hallways with walkie-talkies, making sure kids are getting where they're going in a timely manner. Those people could be armed, protecting the kids, and they could be in a secure building. So this desire for the left to somehow discount things that we know that work and have worked for centuries, banks, museums, etc., security works, politicians, celebrities. Not only does physical security work, but so do armed security guards. They all believe in those things, and they've been proven to work. So allow it to work for the schools. But the reason they want to pretend like it doesn't work is because their real goal is not to save the children; it's to get rid of guns. And it becomes really obvious when they start denying the facts and start denying reality. And when they, instead of looking at, hey, a full 25% of our teachers, and even probably more when you look at support staff, would want to be armed. Instead, they focus on 75% don't want to, so that shows it's a bad idea. That really just exposes their bias, and it exposes their true intentions, which is just to disarm the population. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I hope you have a happy weekend. I hope you enjoyed the show. I do appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back again on Monday. I will see you again on Monday unless you come to one of the live chats on Saturday or Sunday, because remember, we do live chats every day at 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for Monday and Wednesday when they're at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to join the conversation, come on over. Until then, I just want to remind everyone to always carry and stay safe until I see you again. People complain about getting stuck by traffic on their commute to work. Well, I am trying to commute to work, which is right there from my house, and I'm getting held up by deer crossing my driveway. There's a couple more of them over there somewhere. He's hiding in the bushes right there. Well, no, he's right there in the center. I don't know what he's doing. He's eating something. But there's a couple more of them. I have to wait till they get over there. So they're back together. I don't want to make one of them run one way and one of them run the other. So pretty much this is my version of stuck in traffic while heading to work. And now Turnip is getting involved here.